All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Recently, we saw more college basketball players withdraw their names from this year's NBA draft as they're heading back to school for at least one more year. Now, for me, what a difference on the college basketball scene now as compared to several years ago when more players would opt to remain in the draft in spite of the fact that they maybe got a second round grade or even possibly going undrafted. But things are changing in college basketball, and I feel that the NIL deals have changed that. Players are now able to cash in on their name, image, and likeness. And for me and some others, it's been a long time coming as college football and college basketball are cash cows. But when you think about most recently in college basketball, Zach Edey of Purdue, Ryan Kalkbrenner of Creighton, Elijah Martin of Florida Atlantic, Coleman Hawkins of Illinois, and Arthur Kaluma, formerly of Creighton. We don't know where he's going to end up for next season, but these are some of the biggest names that recently decided to return to school. Now, none of these players that I mentioned were projected to go in the first round of this year's draft, but their return to school will only enhance college basketball's excitement for next season. Edie was an All American. Kalkbrenner and Kaluma helped Creighton reach the Elite Eight, and Martin helped Florida Atlantic get to the Final Four. Also, a couple of years ago, the rules were relaxed, allowing players to put their name into the draft, test the draft waters, and without losing their college eligibility. And if they didn't like what they heard, they had the opportunity to come back. You remember in years past, for so many years, if a player declared, he was stuck. That was it. Now they have more options, and it's a good thing because finally some common sense is beginning to reign over collegiate athletics, as in spite of calling these kids amateurs, you got to treat them as professionals, because the thing is, it's like the life of a student athlete is a very hard one, and it's not easy. And you think about, again, in the cases especially of college basketball and college football players, those two sports generate the lion's share of the money on the college scene, especially college football. And in this case, I'm talking about college basketball, but nonetheless, these young people definitely deserve a piece of the pie when it comes down to it. Now, regardless of the sport, basketball, baseball, men's basketball, women's basketball, football, whatever, it's one of those that I definitely truly support these kids getting everything that they possibly can from the NIL deals, because let's face it, even if you're talking about the kids that have the opportunity to go pro, everybody's not going to get those big time contracts, and it's going to be even less than that as far as the kids who have the opportunity to get to the pro level. So it's one of those where, you know what, get it while you can. And at the end of the day, who knows? Whatever deal that they get at the college level, it could set them up and put them on the right track once their eligibility, collegiate wise, is over. But at the end of the day, this is the dawn of a new era in collegiate athletics. And I hope that it stays, because it has changed things. It's putting coaches and administrators all across the board on their toes, if you will. It's changing the landscape, it's ruffling some feathers, whatever you want to call it, but that's what it comes down to: adjusting, adapting, and rolling with the punches. And this is a new wave, and for me, I don't know if the powers that be are going to allow this to stay, but it is making a big time impact, and in my opinion, I hope it does. But at least, definitely from the basketball aspect, giving these kids another option, especially in this case, whether they don't feel too comfortable with their draft status, they have something to fall back on. They have a little bit of cushion. Now they get the opportunity to possibly make some money from the NILs. And then on top of that, go back to school, work on their craft. And if you got the second round grade this year, maybe that's a mid to late first round grade for next year, even a potential lottery pick. We don't know. But the landscape is changing in college. athletics, and hopefully, in my sake, in my opinion, the NILs are here to stay. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I'm signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.